Today at SCC, the crew returned from the Dallas Card Show and recapped their experience, including a big-time deal to land a killer Grail card. Find out what went down coming up now on SCC.
Welcome to episode 24 of Sports Cards Culture. I'm Chris_HOJ, here with Nick at Stiff Arm Wax on Instagram, Kristina at Kristina's PC on Instagram, and Josh at Cardboard_Chronicles on Instagram. Today we are going to recap our trip to the Dallas Card Show. So Thursday, May 20th was the first night of the Dallas Card Show. It was for those holding VIP tickets as well as dealers setting up, but it was a pretty packed event. Josh and I got to the venue, in fact, a few hours early. Do you remember when we went, but without you, Kristina, to record an interview for the One of One documentary? Shout out to George and Nico. Josh, how did you enjoy being interviewed for the One of One documentary?
We finally arrived as a card ladder team in the mainstream documentary scene. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, it was different because we're used to sort of controlling the recording, you know, controlling our content. So to have different questions, you know, come at us from a more general point of view was fun. And, you know, I thought it was a little bit more stressful than I'm used to. You know, like the more lights and a little bit more professional. So I thought it was good for us, though, good practice.
Yeah, in fact, the lights fell over a few times during the documentary, which only added to the tension. Then Kristina, after we did our interviews for the One of One documentary, Kristina came over fashionably late to the show.
I was still early. You guys were just wicked early. So let's set the record straight.
We all walked the floor together for a few hours.
This is true.
Kristina, how would you sum up the first night at the show?
The first night was crazy. There were so many people there. I thought it was a good meter for how the rest of the weekend was going to go, first night kickoff.
Some people we talked to said that was the most well-attended the night before event ever was. And I'm glad we went and were there the whole time. It gave us a chance to see a lot of people that we frankly wouldn't have had time to see had we only had Friday and Saturday.
The focus for that first night was just walking around and getting a feel for the show, and like you said, meeting people we probably wouldn't have had the chance to speak with and talk to some dealers who were setting up, just get the general vibe of the show, and I thought it was fun.
So something else interesting was happening on that same first night, which was Thursday, like I said, May 20th. Besides being the first night of the card show, PWCC's first ever premier auction closed on that night, and so did a relatively small heritage auction. Card Ladder, in fact, tracked $7.31 million in sales that day across eBay, PWCC, and Heritage, making it the sixth highest day of sales tracked by Card Ladder in the last 3 months. The next 2 days on eBay following that Thursday night, concurrent with the Dallas Card Show, saw high spending amounts, even as thousands of people were busy doing stuff in Dallas. May 21st and 22nd had $2.3 million and $2.4 million, respectively, in eBay sales tracked by Card Ladder. Then you get to Saturday. Saturday was the busiest day at the Dallas Card Show, but at the same time, a huge auction hosted by Golden was ending that night, which resulted in Card Ladder tracking $16.24 million in sales from that Golden auction. That number was the second highest total that Card Ladder has tracked in the last 3 months, the second highest, while the Dallas show was going on. Spending on eBay remained strong on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday after the show. Those days each had roughly $1.5 million in sales each day. In total, from the Thursday night on which the Dallas show began, on that Thursday, all the way through the following Wednesday, that 7-day window had $32.54 million in sports card sales tracked by Card Ladder. Certainly was one of the strongest weeks of spending, if not the strongest ever tracked by Card Ladder. And it all happened online while a well-attended sports card show was happening. So, Josh, there was a tremendous amount of spending on sports cards across PWCC, Golden, Heritage, and of course eBay while the Dallas Card Show was underway. There was deal-making happening on the floor of the Dallas Card Show as well. From your perspective as somebody who was at the card show, did the online marketplaces siphon away money that would have been spent at the show? Did the show siphon away money that might have been spent online? What is your perspective on the swelling number of ways that we can now buy cards across numerous online marketplaces, as well as increasingly in person at shows.
Absolutely. That those two things siphon from each other. There's only so much money in the hobby to be spent by collectors, by investors, by everybody. I continue to be amazed about where this money's coming from. All that stuff you're describing, millions and millions of dollars, all within a 3 to 4 day window, is just. I said on my story on Instagram that this hobby can really take a punch, because I think to be able to withstand that much supply in that short amount of time is honestly remarkable. Like, let's just say you have an average collector who has, let's say, $5,000 to spend, and you're going to the Dallas show and you're watching these auctions. There's like a PC card that comes up in one of those auctions. You're at the Dallas show, so you don't want to spend all your money. You're in this sort of tug and war game with, do I buy something that I'm here in person? Do I win the auction? So clearly you can only choose one of those things. You're going to siphon money from one or the other depending on what you choose. It's just simple math at this point. Like, there's just not infinite money in the hobby.
Plus, I think, like, when you're already at the show, you've already invested the time and the money to get there and stay there. So it's kind of like you don't want to spend money online because that would make the trip pointless. So you almost want to spend the money at the show instead, no matter what's coming up for auction.
It's pretty incredible that while the show was ongoing, and then even the 3-4 days after the show, online spending and transacting sports cards was very strong. It raises questions like, so there was several thousand people at the Dallas Card Show at least. How big of a percentage of the sports card market are those people? Are they still buying online while they're there, or are they not even really taking them out of the online buying equation? Does it matter? So many questions to think about, but one thing that's for sure is that the amount of money spent on sports cards recently, even as all-time highs are becoming less frequent, they still happen every day. You can read about them in the Card Ladder newsfeed, but they're less frequent. You know, we're seeing maybe 10, 15, 20 a night, maybe 30 right now. There was a point in time in February and in early March when we were seeing, 50, 70, 80, even more a night on Card Ladder. But nonetheless, lots of money being spent. Maybe it's just more, it's being spread around more. Kristina, if somebody wanted to look at Card Ladder's daily aggregate sales tracking, because Card Ladder reports that statistic every day.
We do.
Where could they go to see these $1 million figures that I was referencing?
They could go to the dashboard. So you want to go to cardladder.com and you can see this right in front of you. If you're a pro member, you want to click on the dashboard on the left menu panel. I don't know what Nick is doing, but he's acting
it out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Kristina. All right.
Exactly.
In my opinion,
Josh got it.
in my opinion, one of the most important macro measurements that we have
Definitely.
in the limited hobby analytics space.
Yeah, there's just so much money being spent that I don't even think, other than short of that dashboard where we actually do show the specific dollar amount, which if you look at it, the overall dollar amount is staying pretty consistent with the last few months, even though there is, a downward trend on the price of a lot of cards. The overall dollar amount being spent is still really, really, really high, and that just means either there's more collectors buying more things, or there's just more supply coming to market and people are continuing to buy more. There's a lot of activity, and all these different marketplaces popping up. It's making it harder to keep track of everything, but there's even with all of these things happening, the prices are still really high. So it's incredible. I don't know where these people are coming from.
It is. I don't know either. How many more are out there? Okay, coming up on Sports Cards Culture, Kristina and I talk about a card we secured at the Dallas Card Show.
Imagine everything you love about the hobby in the palm of your hand. An entire store at your fingertips. Everything you need to know about cards is within your grasp. Unlock the secrets of the hobby. Plus, so much more. You don't have to imagine anymore. It's here. Card Ladder. Get the app today.
You're watching SCC, Sports, Cards, Culture. Keep up with the crew and follow them on all the socials. Plus, join Josh and Chris and sometimes special guest Kristina every Friday night on Instagram Live. The Crossover.
So, shifting gears here.
Yes.
Kristina and I made a deal. The two of us
did.
as a collecting unit made a deal with another person.
And we did.
It was not online, but it was on the floor of the Dallas Card Show. So on Friday, while Josh, Kristina, Brett from Stacking Slabs, and myself, we were roaming the floor together in Dallas, we stumbled upon the booth of Wes Love. He can be found on Instagram at Top Rooks.
Shout out to Wes.
Shout out to Wes. Wes had on display a BGS 8.5 Auto 10 copy of the 2018 Immaculate Collection Luka RPA jersey number parallel. So Immaculate's base set is numbered to 99, but then there's a parallel with hollow foil that is numbered to the player's jersey number. So in this instance, Luka's jersey parallel is numbered to 77. Pretty much as soon as I saw that card in person, I knew that Kristina and I had to have it. So Wes told me the price, and then I said we'd take a night to think about it and perhaps come back tomorrow to make a deal. Well, when Kristina and I returned to the show on Saturday afternoon, I walked straight up to his booth, pulled out a box of slabs that we'd brought just in case an opportunity like this arose, and we started putting together a deal with Wes. Now, Wes only wanted rookies, so that ruled out some of the all the MJ inserts that I brought. He also ruled out a few of the rarer cards that were difficult to price, but I still had plenty of cards left that he was interested in, so we went through them one by one. We figured a value for each using recent comps. A couple of times he was hesitant to accept a card that I was offering, such as with the 3 Gem Mint copies of the Luka Prism base that I was offering. But he specifically said, he was trying to stay away from high population cards like that. But I said, hey man, I will knock off 25% of the value for each, and that enticed him to want to make the deal. And after that showing of good faith on my end, he was pretty generous when valuing the rest of the cards that I was offering, and the cards ended up totaling about half of the value of the RPA, and then I was happy to provide the other half via PayPal. I'd say it took about 30 to 45 minutes to close up that deal.
Yep.
So, Kristina?
Yes.
Wait, hold on though. So because we talked about in the Wisconsin Dells show that a lot of people wanted to trade. So what was did he want to trade or did he want cash? Were you the one who says, hey guy, I got cards that are
I definitely initiated the trade.
He definitely said, hey guy, I got cards. Those were his exact words.
I initiated the trade. None of the cards that were in that box, with the exception of 1 or 2, were really PC. And the Luka Prism base gems were just burning a hole in my card pocket. And so I was ready to move those. Very ready. But, those cards are pretty darn liquid. They sell 20 to 30 times a day on eBay. That's why, and since Kristina just dropped the card, why don't, Kristina, show the card's packaging, because this is why it gets bundled like this, like it's winter. So the card is in this, we'll call it a leather bag.
I can't get it out.
And then within the leather wallet, see we do this that Kristina doesn't take the card out.
Kristina proof.
It's Kristina proof.
Just
do you
like
need me
card
to take
ladder.
it out?
Yes, I do.
It's in a Slab Guard.
Slab Guard.
Slab Guard is a great company. Take it out of the Slab Guard.
I can open that one.
There it is. And so the slab is protected from people accidentally dropping it. Okay.
Like Kristina.
Yeah, wait, why did you have her take it out of everything?
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Just so you could see it more beautiful now. Okay. So, Kristina, first of all, 2 questions.
Shoot.
1, do you love this Immaculate RPA as much as I do?
Probably more.
Probably more. And 2, what was your opinion on the deal-making process on the show floor? I know you said you felt like I was maybe giving too low evaluations on our cards. Do you have any other thoughts?
You gotta work with someone when you're making a deal and of a trade, especially. And when someone's paid to set up at a show and they're trading a awesome card that you want to add to your PC, and you're trading basically single dollar bills for a 100, you gotta sometimes give more than 100 single dollar bills for a crisp 100, and that's what we did. So while standing there, was I happy that Chris was yeah, take 25% off of what this costs? No, But in the grand scheme of things, it was important to get the job done.
It was, and 25%. It's generous, but and it's nothing. And look, there's nothing wrong with being generous. Can we just say that too? But here's the thing. 25%. So let's say we wanted to sell those Luca Prism Base PSA 10s on eBay. There's going to be an 11 to 12% fee. And then also, since we're into those cards for pennies, the tax income on those cards, we would be way above a 25% hit if we actually just sold them ourselves.
And what I was going to say was 25% in the scheme of things for Wes, the dealer that we worked with, paying to set up at the show, paying to go to the show, like having to put in the time and effort to flip those cards is not that big of a commission on his end. So, you got to make concessions on that end so that it works for both parties.
Well said. All right. So it's safe to say that my favorite part of the show was us landing that card.
Wait, what did Josh think about that deal? Who do you think had the better end, or was it fair? Or
Yeah, I mean, I always side with the collector who gets the rare card that they want, and especially I'm not a big fan of Panini RPAs other than the NT, but I actually do really like that one. That's definitely my favorite of the RPAs. My second favorite, sorry. I don't like the flawless and all the main immaculates because they all kind of have that same white background look. But to have the holofoil, the team colors, the jersey match, there's a lot of cool things going on with it. So I think you guys won that deal.
Yeah, and awesome. By the same token, I mean, Wes, I think, did quite well too. He got great value on the card, got to move a big item, got half of it in cash, and the rest in liquid cards. Win-win. Okay, but all right, so that was our favorite part of the show, perhaps.
Well, I mean, it was, but getting to watch the first game of the series in Dallas at the bar restaurant with Josh was pretty exciting too. Right after this deal went down,
we made reservations at a restaurant that doesn't do reservations.
She was like,
make sure we could watch that game.
Sure, I could do that for you guys.
Some Texas hospitality. All right. So Josh, what was your favorite part of the Dallas Card Show? If you had to hone it into one experience or one moment.
Probably when Brett and I were looking to buy some wax, because one, I never buy wax. Two, I hadn't met Brett before, and it was a lot of fun just kind of walking around with him, and we were sort of plotting what wax we were going to buy. We were asking some friends, what's the best value, because we wanted to open it. We didn't want to flip it, and we weren't looking to spend $3,000 on Prism basketball or anything like that. So we bought some 2006 Bowman Chrome football for $150, and it's just a random year, but fun box to buy and open. So I'd say that was the best moment.
Actually have the box that Josh bought here.
He didn't want it.
Wasn't a real winner of a box, so he gave the contents to Kristina and I very generously.
But Brett's box turned out pretty well for himself.
Yeah, we each opened a box, and I would say the top 7 cards of the 2 boxes were all his. So
yeah,
enjoy my crisp $1 bill there, guys.
And you know what that speaks to is that that really some of the most memorable moments at shows are making deals and buying stuff. It's a rare opportunity. You can get it. It's not like when you're buying online, you have to wait for it to come in, wait for it to come on the mail. You can get it right there. You can enjoy it in hand. Good. That's a lot of fun. All right, Kristina, I've got a question for you now. So you and I got into Dallas on Tuesday night. We went to the grand opening of Sappy's.
Yep.
We spent time at the card show with Josh on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Got to enjoy dinners with Josh, as well as friends and colleagues in the industry all throughout the week and weekend. But Josh, you and I kept working on Card Ladder that whole time. We'd go back to the hotel after the show. We'd all pull out our laptops, get to work. We'd add a new feature, respond to users, keep adding new cards, stay on top of vetting daily sales. Tell me about what it was like working on Card Ladder while on the road.
It was kind of like working on Card Ladder at home, except Josh was there. So when I asked for something, he couldn't ignore my DM for a couple hours. and then be like, oh, I'll get to this tomorrow. It was like I had him in sights.
Like a spider
yeah.
has trapped its prey in its web.
Like, if you want this truly, then you better add this feature. No, it was really fun. I know Josh had said it, and I'm going to steal his line, but it was very much kind of like garage feeling of like the three of us in a room together for the first time working on this instead of remotely working on it.
True, and let's not ignore Stiff Arm Wax,
Right.
Cole,
Right.
Riley, South, the whole team,
Right.
who and others who continue to contribute and work as well. But we were all together.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes, it was.
I just want to say, like, it was fun.
Good. Okay. Josh, what about you? How did you like?
Did I annoy you that badly,
how
Josh?
annoying was Kristina on a scale of 9 to 10?
No, I thought like handling the customers' questions and feedback on some like the subscription stuff and like people wanting to get their promos through and stuff like that. Like you and I like troubleshooting that on the fly was kind of fun. And it's fun to like help customers in person together like that. It was great. And then my other comment was like when we were all hanging out, I think it was Friday night, and we're all talking, drinking, talking cards, and Chris is just sitting there and like literally I was like, you guys are watching Card Ladder right now. Chris over there clicking, submitting sales, vetting sales, looking through everything, like being the gatekeeper of Card Ladder. What the thing that makes Card Ladder what it is Chris sitting there boop boop boop, like multitasking, talking to us with his back turned to us.
But still present and chiming in from time to time. All right. Final question here for Josh before final thoughts. Josh, you brought some big boy cards to the show, including a LeBron exquisite RPA. We also got to look through some other collectors' collections that contain some really awesome cards. Tell me a little bit about the importance of sharing our collections with each other at card shows.
Yeah, people were surprised I brought some of those cards, but I love bringing my cards. To me, that's the number one point of the shows, is to share collections. Maybe, most people would say it's to buy and sell and trade, but for me, it's it's showing off my collection to my friends that don't get to see it in person, or vice versa, seeing my friends' collections that they bring. And so I think more people should be bringing their cards. Wink, wink. You guys didn't bring enough. Very disappointing.
You gave us some confidence, I think, to be able to do it next time. Oh, Kristina's still not.
No, because I know my boyfriend who likes to sell cards out from me. He brought my last pink cracked ice, and that went into the trade. I didn't even know he brought it until he popped it out on the table of the trade.
You said I could get rid of that card.
I did.
Yeah, not that stuff. Like the MJ stuff. The good stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's not going anywhere.
Yeah, see, exactly. He wants to bring my stuff, not his. But it's ours.
Yeah, sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's hers, depending upon the card. Okay. All right. So sorry to interrupt there, Josh. Yeah, please continue.
No, I just nothing really much more to add. I like looking at other people's cards and collections, and it feels safest with me anyways. If I'm gonna lose all my cards, I'd rather it be my own fault than being lost somewhere else that's not with me or something. I'd rather lose the game taking the last shot.
Fair.
Yeah, I like
fair points. All right, Kristina and then Josh to close here. Last question. Kristina, do you have any final thoughts on the Dallas Card Show?
Yeah, I thought it was a great time, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone who came up to us and said hello. It really meant a lot. Your kind words and support, your hobby love that you shared to the three of us, separately and together. It means a lot that you guys took the time out of your show to tell us like that we're making an impact and you enjoy what we're doing. So I just want to shout out to all of you guys. You know who you are. And I also want to give a shout out and some hobby love to Dr. James Beckett, who invited the three of us to the Hobby Content Creators Dinner on Saturday night. And it was a great time, and nothing but amazing support, and all the best to everyone who was there. And Dr. James Beckett, the GOAT of the hobby.
Well said. Josh, any final thoughts on the Dallas Card Show?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the whole, camera crew thing at the show, but I guess I would just leave with some small tidbit of passing wisdom to really be present at these shows. If you're gonna go, be in the moment of everyone you're talking to. Try to get as many conversations as you can and have fun. And we'll be in Chicago for the National, and hope to keep the fun going.
Well said. All right, that'll do it for episode 24, recapping the Dallas Card Show. Look forward to the next show already. See you guys next week.
Thanks for watching. Tell us in the comment section below what the crew should cover next week, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time at SCC, Sports, Cards, Culture.